Hello, all you drama enthusiasts. Welcome to the meeting. This is Angie's Drama Room, and I am your meeting host, Angie. And today is my final review, and I'm so saddened about it. Shadow Love. I was totally surprised. This went beyond my expectations. I know I've said that before on previous costume dramas. I think I might continue to say that as I continue to watch them. I loved The Princess Gambit and I loved The Prisoner of Beauty. I thought Prisoner of Beauty was the get all, right? I thought that was my go to costume drama. And then Shadow Love showed up. The two difference really between the Shadow Love and the Prisoner of Beauty focused a lot on the romantic interest. It got us into our fields when it came to the bonding between our Norway and Lady Chow. So that's what Prisoner of Beauty was. With Shadow Love, um, all hands to the scriptwriter and the director and the stunt coordinators, costume directors, and everybody who had anything to do with changing our Jin'an into the Dark Warrior. That's what I'm calling him, the Dark Warrior. Um, I was surprised. I mean, I was amazed. I love superhero movies and TV shows. Of course, I like the Marvel, DC comics, and all that. I love the superhero, and for her to incorporate that into a costume drama, it exceeded everything. But this one, I'm just so much in love with this show. And this morning when I woke up, I'm like, I was upset because I couldn't turn it on to watch the next episode because it was over with. Before I go into my final thoughts on it, I'm going to tell you my fan fiction that I wish that would have happened or could have happened at the end. And my fan fiction would have been I wish they would have had it some way where even so he still had the jade stone in him. And basically, the jade stone incorporated with him because it bonded with him. It did not need a blood host. So when he went to go rescue Shad, um, he was himself, but he still had the mask on. And so my fan fiction would have been at the end is somehow after they left the young man and the orphanage, maybe somehow, some way, his brother. I know the brother was in a wheelchair. Met him on the road, and his brother was looking like something detrimental was happening. I don't know what can be the conversation, but this evil demon war spirit comes into the land. Maybe it was the black robe guy coming back to the dead, right? Raising from the dead or something. I don't know. And they needed their help to combat it because the army could not control it. So they needed the Dark Warrior. So it was all orchestrated. Now, this is my fan fiction. This is my fan fiction. This is what I wish it could have done. And then what happened, I thought what could happen was and then all of a sudden you see a scene where he puts the mask comes on, and then our General Lee, she stands into her warrior stance, and they fly off to fight that demonic spirit or something. So that's kind of my fan fiction. I wish we would have got a last goodbye with our Dark Warrior, and that's kind of where I wish it had happened. But okay, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about the ending. I'm telling you, I was 100% in on this drama, and one of the things that Chung Lee, he acted his butt off. This one was a lot more challenging for him than it was for the female general. As I was saying before, my first impression with the female general, the legend of the female general, Chung Li was just basically the eye candy to the general, right? The female general. And so she was the whole show. She was the scene. She was the one who carried each and every scene. And this general, the Chung Li was just there to bring off the romantic interest and just to hold her and comfort her or be there for her when she needs him. But in this one, he was 100% him. This one was from beginning to end was 100% him, and it really wasn't. I really didn't. It was okay with the romantic interest between him and Song Yi, and Shadow Love. I was watching it just for him, his character arc. That's the reason why I was watching it, and that's the one I really enjoyed. We had in the beginning, we had the arrogant prince. That's how we first met him. He was the arrogant prince. We established that. We know how he was. And then when the battle came forth, I mean, they just brought us in there just really quick. They brought us in there really quick. And then when he turned into uh, the Dark Warrior, a little kid first, but however, and then he became the Jin'an, and that story arc of him being Jin'an and turning into the Dark Warrior when it's needed, and needing her to help feed the blood demon that was in him, the blood jade, feeding that through her blood. And I was like, oh wow. I liked the changing of him. I liked everything about it, the martial arts stunts. The only thing really with Sang Yi and being the female general, I think they switched it too fast. She was the warrior general, and she had the whole thing, but I think they made her too soft after her stint of that general. It was no longer needed. I think they just made her too soft, and I think I wish she still had that little edge about her. But when she needed to be a warrior, she was a warrior. But when she was with Jin'an, she became just mush, right? Just a love mush, pile of lovey mush, and sugar, sweet, sweet. And I guess any man comes into your life, right, that you are just amorously falling for. I suppose we all become mush, right? So we take off that rugged exterior. Then when Chung Li, the third one he had was the Republican era drama, which is Footprints of Change or something like that. I did watch that one, but I kind of felt a stop short of it only because I like I started watching it because of him, right? He was okay. He was excellent in the role, and so was the female lead that was with him. I love the line, "This is my fourth concubine." he, probably, he probably thought he was still in the costume drama, but I like that line he said. But when you tell them the story, for me, it has to have a good story also. I'm just not going to sit there and watch it because a person is in it. It has to have also a good story with it, and you kind of had to understand and wanted to see more about that era of time, what they were trying to do. And during that era, they were going into the communist, becoming a communist nation, and then also it has something to do with the occupation of Japan. So a lot of that, I mean, that's something that I couldn't relate to because of course I'm not Chinese, and establishing that thing, and so me being now time and trying to understand it during their time, I think that's kind of where it felt kind of slow short for me. So I that's the reason why I kind of dropped it. Not it's just the storytelling, and I believe the emotions he did with just seeing previews and things like that was great. It's just the storytelling. The story itself, I really wasn't too interested in watching. But however, let's continue with the Shadow Love. Um, I want to go through parts. The prince, the crown prince, we know. Now you're going to get spoilers for me telling you this. I'm not, but here we are. The crown prince, I kind of didn't play him anyway in the beginning, but okay, because it's kind of made me upset that these people were trying so hard to help him, but he wasn't trying to help himself, right? But he had his own agenda. Maybe he knew what was going on or something. I don't know. Um, and I think that it's like one of those things where Korean dramas, you fall victim to the sad story of the villain, and so you kind of find yourself rooting for the villain, feeling sorry for the villain, and that's kind of what it was with the Crown Prince. how he got there is still, come on, the way he got there, and he's still blaming the Dark Prince, the Dark Knight, or whatever you want to call him, Dark Warrior, for the killing of his brother when he was the one who did it. And he never switched it or changed the narrative of that. He didn't help his father when his father was sick, and now he took the throne. But I still want peace. And so I guess he had to do what he had to do in order to save her, that he had to fake her death. Basically, that's kind of what happened. Now, again, here in the States, we didn't get the final episode. Others got the final episode, what, days or 2 days later, because after the 30, it was 38 drama, about the 34th drama, I'm thinking on the 35th episode, excuse me. I think they only gave us one episode a day. So everybody was done watching it, and while we were still trying to finish this last scene, and so there was a lot of spoilers on social. So I knew that what was going to happen with her. So it wasn't, but I wanted to see how um, Prince Anon saved her. So that's kind of where I was. So I was trying to figure out how Prince Anon came in and tried to revive her. And but I'm not going to tell you if you wanted to watch it. Um, I'm not going to tell you, But so I'm not going to tell you how he all this, just in case you didn't watch it. I don't want to spoil it too much for you. So that was the Crown Prince. Now, when it came to going, when he found out he was Prince Anon, and then he went back to the kingdom, I was anticipating, everybody was anticipating him being the Dark Prince Anon, and maybe trying to go back to the romance with how he's going to go back to the romance with Sean, is it Sean? Sean? Because it had a little R in there, but I don't know. I would just say Ms. Lee. But my thing was, I want to see how you're gonna take care of that Queen Dogwalker, right? So that was where I was, and look, I think I mentioned it before that if you command the army, you command the throne, and so yes, she tried to catch him at the end and try to blame him for everything that was going on, but she's the one who started it all. But anyway, but then but yeah, she got her due at the end. That now, because of the actual king, his majesty was found, and he ascended to the throne, so he was able to um, shun her, because he couldn't kill her because of the whole bloodthirst that would happen in the beginning. So they were bonded by blood. So if supposedly this magical thing, if she dies, he dies too. And even the daddy general, he was fighting. He said, "Oh, I know what's up. I know what to go on," because he's the grand general, right? I found it interesting. We have our two physicians, right? Mr. Mo, and I can't think of what was her name. Let's see here, Lu Xing, right? And Ms. Lu. And okay, they finally found out what happened with Prince Anon, right? With Jin'an, they found out what happened. So they were running and hiding, I believe, and they went into the queen's chambers. It opened a hidden door, and it went into a cave like thing. And literally, he strikes him. It was dark and everything. He walking down this long corridor of the cave, and then they get into the area here, and this is where we find His Majesty, Prince Anon's brother, strapped down now in the bed, right? Because that's what he was. He was always like that. So again, spoiler, okay. And of course, she had the two things in him. He's strapped on the bed, and they're looking like, "Hello, hello," and they're saying, "Well, let's just leave." I'm like, got a man strapped in the bed in a cave. They're saying, well, he must be some type of prisoner or something because he's in here, so let's just leave. And so I think Lu Chen was like, well, let's figure it out. Let's see if he's okay first, right, before we leave. So they called out for him. Hello, hello, do you need help? Do you need help? He didn't say nothing. So she's like, okay, let's leave. Like, wait a minute. This man is strapped in the bed. I mean, I get it that you don't want to. He may have been a prisoner, maybe I don't know, but you went into a secret tunnel behind a secret door behind in the tunnel. So that was kind of funny. I thought it was a little funny that they were they remind you of when you watch they call not scavengers, but excavators who go in caves and things and try to find certain things, and you see these movies about it. Yeah, that was that was kind of funny. It reminded me of the Lost Ark, uh, Indiana Jones or Tomb Raider, American version. So I think she got a lot of her concepts from that, but it was kind of funny. So if you didn't know, they're the ones who found, of course, found the king and brought him back. And they were able to help him because they were physicians themselves. But that was kind of funny. So their arc was kind of cute. Their arc was pretty cute. Let's see here, and then the brother, you know, now I didn't know. I mean, they always throw that spin at the that you're going along thinking that she was the actual daughter to general the actual grand general, but no, she was just adopted daughter. I'm like, why do you throw that in there? Why couldn't she just be the actual daughter? I mean, but no, she was the adopted daughter, and I guess reason why maybe because she couldn't ascend to the throne like the crown prince wanted, and daddy picked the actual um, wife to him. So that's probably why. But then the brother had no skills. So at the end, he did go back into combat skills, and they taught him how to fight as a warrior. So that's what he did do. And yeah, all in all, I mean, I just love this show. I loved the three arcs of Prince Anon. I hated that. I wanted, how they always said, how if you could see the first time again. I understood what they meant, but it was like this one really, you kind of wanted to watch it for the first time again, all 38 episodes nonstop. So thanks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying tuned with me on Shadow Love. I even did shorts. I don't do a lot of shorts. I even did shorts on these, and I really just enjoyed Shadow Love, and I'm anticipating. I hope that she does it too, that they do a Shadow Love too, and go with my fan fiction at the end. Thank you for watching. Media adjourned.